Hello students, welcome to the class of Health and Physical Education, Unit 9, Psychology and Sports. And today's topic which we are going to learn, that is different stages of development. So actually we are having four stages of development are there. We are going to learn the characteristics at the different stages. In that four stages are there, and we are going to cover this only two stages in this session. So let's start the various stages of the development. We already learned related to the growth and development what does the growth means and what does the development means. Growth is a quantitative term, whereas the development is consist of quantitative and qualitative both. So it is necessary for us to know about the both growth and development. They are synonym to each other, and they are complement also to each other. In fact, the growth and development are like two sides of the same coin. Growth is an expansion of the body organ, whether in size, height, weight, whereas the development itself is an exhaustive now. Whereas you may find out that development is a process which used to work from the birth till the death. So here we are talking about a qualitative development. When we are talking about the development, at that time we are talking about the qualitative changes in the that is related to his skills, attitude, learning, behavior, his behavior. There is a progressive change you may find out in the development, whereas the growth is having some limitation. After some period of time it used to stop. So development is not limited to the growth, but only it takes place throughout the life of an individual. There are so many factors of the growth and development, such as heredity, environment, living, nutrition, disease, and gender. So these are the factors of growth and development. These factors differentiate the growth and development of a children, because heredity depends, environment also, living conditions, the nutrition, what type of diet a person is having or a child is having, diseases, types of diseases, gender also makes a difference. So development is not only limited to growing larger. Instead, it consists of a progressive series of the changes of an orderly, coherent type towards the goal of maturity. So here, when we are talking about the development, at that time we need to focus more on the, that means that an individual who used to there is a progressive series of the change in him, where he used to learn new and new things, and there is always in a progress, that is there is a success in an individual that has been considered development. Now we are talking about the different stages. In that first stage we are having infancy. Mostly the infancy stage is from the birth till 2 years of the age is called as an infancy, but here it is been taken as 0 to 5 years. Otherwise from birth till 2 years is called as an infancy. So what are the changes, physical characteristics are being seen in this age? You can find out that at the time of the birth a child weight is 2 to 2.5 to 3.5 kg. The neck muscle develops less. The child development is visible because of the development of the bones, nerves, and the muscles. So child development is visible because you can see the development of a child as they are growing, because there is a growth of the bone as well as the muscles. The child muscles are soft and less developed. At this time, at the time of infancy, the child muscles are soft, they are less developed. By the age of 2, his or her muscle becomes more developed very quickly. During this stage, both boys and girls develop similarly. When we are talking about the growth, at the time similar, you may find out the similarity in the development of a child, either a boy or a girl. By the age of 3, the child activities becomes noticeable. We can find out the activities which he or she is doing. The child start to use physical organs and sensory organs in the balanced way, and learn the activities related to the motor skills, such as walking, running, jumping, catching, throwing, etc. So you may find out that their motor skills are being seen. You know that the child learns to first crawl, then afterwards he try to make the balance and try to first he try to sit, then afterwards he try to crawl, then afterward he used to, with the help of the support, he stands, and then afterward he used to step forward. So these are the motor skills which a child used to learn. And then afterwards running, walking, and having, playing with the object, holding the object, throwing the object. So these are the motor skills which he used to learn in this time period. So these are the physical characteristics. What are the mental characteristics during the infancy? A child does not have a control on his or her emotion. So the emotions which emerges into the child do not last long. So he is not having that much emotion. He is not having a control on his emotion. So for example, weeping, a child at once start to laugh the very next moment. Once he start crying, and if he used to give the object or any of the thing which he or she likes, then automatically she used to laugh or he used to laugh. So that means there is an no control over his or her emotions. At this age, the child emotions get reflected on its face. For example, weeping a child attracts the mother attention. Now what happens here? The child's emotion get reflected on its face. By looking at the face of the child, we can come to know whether what she is going to do, or what she wants, actually what he or she wants. And then afterwards, the example is, it is beyond that, given that weeping child attracts the mother's attention. The emotional development of a child is being based on its mother's love towards it. So emotional development of the child is based on its mother's, mostly because a child at the time, this time period, is more attached to his or her mother. So that's why you may find out that child is based on its mother's love towards it. The child receptivity gets increased very quickly. Very he or she used to learn or use the same word repeatedly again and again. So here he learns to increase very quickly. It leads to the enhancement in its memory and thinking power. Very soon, whatever they enact or they intimate very soon. So that's why they used to learn the words, they used to speak the words, and they used to react accordingly. The child begins to understand the languages and try to speak accordingly. A child understands the language and try to speak the same, like either the speaking for calling his father, or for his mother, or to get something what he or she wants to eat. A child's curiosity gets increased. The child begins to ask questions. He or she gets satisfied with the elder's answer. Whatever that means, that whatever we used to give them, they will be able to accept, and they are going to answer a question a lot. And if they get satisfied also when the elder used to answer. Then what are the motor functional characteristics? What are the motor functional means? What they are going to learn? That means that physical they are going to learn. At this age of 2 to 3 years, the child loves to play a lot most of the time. Playing at this time a period. A child begins to take meal himself and his control over the activities related to its motion. He or she likes to eat the meals by its own. If you used to give something to eat, and if you give the spoon, because they are intimating their elders, and the same thing the child is also going to apply. So they take the meal by himself, and they have a control on these activities. A child does the activities which it loves. Whatever they like, they used to do the same. He leaves the activity which he does not love, or he do not like. A child begins to comb its hair himself, and also learn to brush his teeth himself, because they like to eat more and more paste. That's why it has been they like to brush and comb their hair, and these all activities they like to do. A 5-year child begins to button and unbutton its shirt itself. A muscle becomes developed for the functioning. A child does various activities such as writing, reading, catching, etc. during this age. In the same it was in the physical activity. Here it is also been given. In the age, a child learns the skills mostly by imitation. They used to look at others, and they used to learn. Now we are having the different stage. We are having the childhood. The childhood is been divided into two parts, that is early childhood and late childhood. In early childhood, it is from 6 to 9 years, but here the early childhood works from 3 years. Okay, so here we have already been learning related to the early childhood, because the infancy used to work from 0 to 2 years, or it has been given 0 to 5 years. So from 6 to 9 it has been considered early childhood. Now what are the characteristics of the early childhood? Physical characteristics, what are there? Body grows continuously but slowly progress in this period. The bones are soft. In the early childhood, the bones are still soft and can be damaged easily. The many of the child that used to get fracture and that all, it it is necessary to take the care of the right pose and at this age, because after that, after the whole development of the bone, it is hard to correct any damages. So whatever the body postures or that are being there, it is to be very much careful. It is to be handled. Otherwise, the one of the damage which used to remain, that used to remain forever then afterwards. So right pose is must, it must be taken care. Then physical activity, gain weight, then is must. Otherwise the child or he or she is used to gain the weight. That's why physical activity is must. Pulse rate is higher than the adult, but blood pressure is low. Pulse rate is more as compared to the adult, but the blood pressure level is low. Then heart size is smaller in comparison to the body size. The heart is also smaller. Strength does not develop completely. Coordinative abilities are lesser in physical activities. They are not able to have a good coordination at this age. Then muscle development are less, so that there is no perfection in the skill. Muscle developments are less, so there are no perfection, and each and everything is being taught either by the family members or by the teachers or by their elders in a family. So these coordinative abilities, either it may be writing the alphabets, or it may be of writing of the words and that all. So these all abilities are being lacking in this age, because their muscles are not that much developed. So there is less so there is no perfection in the skills. Mental characteristics. What are the mental characteristics during the early childhood? The children interest is more in the large muscle activities like running, catching, throwing. They like to run, they like to jump, they like to play with the different objects. Then children like to participate in the physical activities and exercise. They are very much excited, and they are very much enthused, so that they like to participate in the different physical activities and exercise. Children do not want to take part in the team event, but they like to play alone. In this age, they are like to play alone. They don't want to play in the team. Coping, because they want to enjoy freely. That's why coping in the main specification of this thing. Coping, now coping up is the main specification of this age. To cope up with others also. When he can do, I can also do. When she can do, I can also do. This coping is main specification at this age. The children becomes more curious and insight. They are very much excited, they are very much enthusiastic, so they are very much curious, and they insist. Then sports activity for the development of the early childhood. In this age group, the physical activity should not to be tiring and tough, because body develops slowly as the body is growing. So at that time, the body must not be given too much of load or too much of exercise. So rhythmic activity should be increased, because these activities develops coordination, balance, and stability. So rhythmic type of activities must be given to them, or must be is more helpful for children, because they develop the coordination, balance, and stability. The motor skills should be done at this age. The dance can also be performed to increase the coordination and the balance. Simple skills sports should also be organized for these age group children. So here simple skills sports should also be organized for such types of age group children. Then we are having later childhood. Later childhood, that is for the age of 10 to 12 years. Clear? Now, what are the physical characteristics you may find out in this later childhood? Here, the body builds affects both the height and the weight of a child in the late childhood. The bones hardens a little bit when the bone was softer in the early childhood. Here, the bone used to get ossified completely, and then after the bone becomes harder, and the height and the weight increases at this stage, and there is an improvement in the child motor development, skills, and endurance. That means overall, there you may find out there is a change in the child physically. Then the heart becomes stronger and can do some hard work also. Here the heart also becomes stronger, and the child can do some hard work also. So there is an increase in the height and weight. The milk teeth start falling, and the permanent teeth appears. The child becomes conscious about his self respect. There is a gradual increase in the body and mind. Coordination starts doing some skills by his own. So, here there are the different activities the child must be involved, so that they can perform more better in this physical activities and games and sports. So, this is the physical characteristics which has been seen in the later childhood. Then, what are the mental characteristics you may find out in later childhood? The child is in a position to exercise his or her power of memory, attention, thinking, and imagination, and can solve the problem intelligently. At this age, during the late childhood, they are having a good memory power. Also, they are having good attention. Their thinking and imagination is also good, and can also helps in solving the problem intelligently. The child is intellectually and alive and active individual. So IQ at this stage is considerably, and by the end of this stage, it becomes stable. So here the IQ level is also been developed at this stage, and you can find out that at the end of this stage, it becomes the stable. The child acquires a mental alertness, readiness to learn at this stage. He or she can pay attention to develop the interest in reading, writing, and arithmetical activities. The child likes to learn all these things at this age. Either it may be related to the reading, writing, or that is been related to the mental skills. He shows an awareness and the sense of subordination to the school rules, laws, and discipline. He used to show the awareness. Such types of children at this age, you may find out the awareness related to the school, whatever the rules and regulations they used to follow. They used to follow the laws and the discipline. They are in a discipline also at this age. He tries to learn the new knowledge and experience through the imitation. When by watching others, they used to observe their teacher, sir, whoever may be, and they try to imitate. They try to imitate the good their elder peoples also in their family. If they are doing well, then definitely there is also they are going to learn the new skills, and the knowledge are also being learned through this experience, through imitation. The children follow only those things which they like. At this age, it is seen that the children like only those things which they like. If they don't like, they don't will not take the interest in doing that thing. So these are the mental characteristics at the later childhood. Then sports activities for the development of the later childhood. What are the sports activities are being introduced at the later childhood? At this age, the child likes to play competitive sports and want to play in the team. They like to play in team, so the games and sports become more important in his sports activity. It is also important that the child should not be left behind to the others in strength, coordination, ability, and skills. Otherwise, the social and emotional stress will be born in him. So you may find out that each and every child should be given a chance together to develop either in any of the sports, or they must be given the chance actually. It may be any of the field related to either it may be sports, or it may be academic or co-curricular activity, whatever it may be. If they are being left behind, then what happens? There will be chances of emotional stress will be more, which are going to create problem in their life. So at this stage, the children should be provided with the facilities of running, jumping, badminton, table tennis, and gymnastic. These activities are for motor development of a child. So there are the various games must be introduced in during the late childhood, because in this age where they are going to learn the new skills, and they are going to perform more and more better, because they are at this age they are having a good coordinative abilities also, where they can learn and adapt themselves very soon. So these are the what are the characteristics related to the infancy, early childhood, and the late childhood. Early childhood and late childhood are been the common comes under the common topic of the childhood. So these are the what the characteristics. Either it may be related to the physical characteristics, mental characteristics, or it may be related to the sports activities for the development of their childhood or infancy, or later childhood, or early childhood. Clear? So from my side, this much today. You can prepare the notes on the basis of this. These are the part 1 I have taken. Then in the second part, we are going to learn related to the adolescent, clear, and adulthood. So from my side today, this much. Thank you everyone.